when it comes to like just the city period, right? Last year we had like a record year as far as like with the amount of murders that we had. Like we had like 100 murders, and it was like a record since 1991.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Bad record.
Yeah. And this year now we're pretty much on to a pretty crazy start as well. Like we're a little bit more than halfway through the year, right?
They're saying there's more shootings.
Yeah.
Less deaths, but still more shootings.
Facts. So the question that we usually ask is, what do you think that we can do now so that we can reduce what happened last year, and even like to slow down what's going on now? And it's not like a one solution answer, but like something that we can use as a collage from all the guests from the past too, right?
Yo, it's something that I rack my brain all the time to try and figure it out, because I remember being a youth, like this whole year of the gun thing. I remember in the 90s, like, you know, when we used to see that in the papers, you know what I'm saying? And like it was, I don't know, it was always hot in the neighborhoods, you know what I'm saying? It didn't always make the news. It probably still doesn't always make the news.
True.
But it's like when you're in the middle of it, sometimes you're desensitized to it, because you're just like, yo, Bridget, you hear some man Ray get clap out. Really? Fuck. Next couple weeks. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's a thing. Like, when you grow up in it, it's not as sensationalized. But I knew what saved us was the Fresh Arts program when we were younger. Fresh Arts is pretty much, you know, like what things like Remix.
That was just about to say.
Same kind of thing. So for us, our remix in our day was called Fresh Arts, and it was something that was same way that Remix is, you know, funded by different entities. For us, it was funded by the government in the Bob Ray days.
Yeah.
And
Bob Ray.
you know, Fresh Arts allowed for, that's where I think that was a real launch pad or a springboard for myself, for Director X, for Socrates, you know, Mark Strong. I'm just trying to think of people that are, you know, that, like, there were so many people that were a part of that program. And again, it was a thing to where there was mans from every ends that was in that program. And for us, you know, like literally, like mans from Cataraqui, mans from just Jamestown, all kind of places wouldn't necessarily come together.
Yeah.
But we were all there, and we were all making music together, theater program, this, that, whatever. And I know it's a real thing. Like for us, like we were on the the Greyhound together.
Yeah.
Took a trip to New York, you know what I'm saying, 95. And I was with X when he dropped off his demo reel to Hype Williams them times.
Wow.
So I seen firsthand, like, the effects of, like, the mentality. Like, that's the first time that we were empowered and said, yo, like, we're going after it. But it's also one of the first times that we understood the strength in numbers. You understand? Because at the same time, like, imagine now, old time killing.
You're crazy, your tough talk don't amaze me. Imaginary busting just don't phase me. Liquor shot, with your fly. Gun.
And then, you know, directed at the time, Little X directing it. But what they have to understand is, like, yo, we were youths that came up in the Fresh Arts program years ago, just youths from turf, like random youths who, like, every day had to check and make sure that you had tickets left to get downtown, because outside of your bus fare you don't really have too much money still.
No, facts.
So that's how real it was for us. But when we got on, you're drawing for your brethren. Who now is this guy? Who now is this guy? So going back to your answer, like, how do we curb some of that? I think a lot of times what plagues us is access and opportunity. Because I think if a lot of the mans them had access or opportunity to do a lot of stuff, they wouldn't be just randomly doing certain things. If a man said, yo, and I know that I've done that for, you know, certain mans along the way, to where I'm like, yo, you create a space, you create an opportunity, you create something so that man always has You know what I'm saying? Like something else to do.
Yeah.
You're not gonna eliminate all the gun violence or whatever, but the thing is that you're gonna have certain mans them that wouldn't have anything else. All of a sudden now they can take that energy and now streamline it towards this. Now they have a goal. Now they have, remember earlier in the thing I was talking about purpose. You know? Now you're purpose driven. You're not just out there to say, yo, I have to make her money because you don't know rent have to pay. Or you just don't have any. Yo, when I moved to Okanagan, the most interesting thing I found out, we didn't have no community centers around there.
Right.
Yeah.
Like there was no community, so there wasn't a place for us to go. Like when I was in Flemo, we'd go to the resort center, go play ball, go swimming. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do random stuff. And not to say that in Flemo, like the mans them didn't still get into whatever, but at least for some of us there was an outlet. Like we could go, there was programming for the youths to do. There was nothing in Vaughan. Nothing. You understand what I'm saying? And it's like
a lot of neighborhoods are like that.
Yeah, and it's like when you don't have programming for the youths them to get involved and all of a sudden feel
Something
like
to draw their attention.
yeah, that's when that's when the mess, you know what I mean? That's when the mess starts.
Yeah.
And the same way that certain man could have been on the block doing certain things, those same man could have took that energy and put it towards music, or if that wasn't their passion, towards sports or something else. So I think in order to curb that, we don't need more police, because I think that is reactive as opposed to being proactive. I think that what we need to do to circumvent all that is to really like get that programming out there. And I know even for me and my wife have a charity, and every year for the past 10 years we've taken youths from all about the place, Scarborough region here, Ray, taking them to Kenya, taking them to Japan, to India.
Nice.
And you know, we've built schools, we built hospitals, built clinics, but most important, it's a transformative trip, because some of them youths never left housing projects.
Never left their block,
Never left. And then like, you know what I mean, to see them go over there, and sometimes the youths and break down and cry because they're like, yo, I thought I had it bad. But then they go and they see youths with a one shoe on, tattered up clothes, smiles, welcoming them to their community and stuff like that. And it's a perspective. So I think you really need to penetrate the mind of the youths them, and that's really what's gonna curb a lot of the fuckery, yo. You know what I mean? Some youths, listen, some people are just born bad. It is what it is in any society. But
Facts.
I think a lot of the youths them in our community that are caught up is just because they don't have access to stuff to give them a shot, give them an opportunity, and let them have that same energy, you know what I mean, be directed to doing something that's progressive and positive as well.
Well said, sir. Well said.
Yeah, man.
Kardinal Offishall. What's coming up next?
Question I ask myself every day.
Yeah, because you've done everything, I feel like, and you're doing a lot of things.
You know what, fam? I'll be honest. Like, just to be able to even matter is an accomplishment to me. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it could have been a thing to where man's not interviewing this guy. Like, for what? Like, you know what I mean? Like, when people say you've done a lot, I also feel like the more that you know is the more that you realize. I'm like, shit, I haven't even done nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Still have more to do.
We're programmed to think that, like, saying that you have a bunch of number ones, or you made a certain amount of money, or you did this or whatever, like, that is accomplishments. But to me, like, the real accomplishments is like being able to solidify legacy, being able to provide in some type of way, and I'm working on it, is to figure out how finances really work and provide generational wealth, or at least provide platforms for generational wealth. And I don't mean just for my family, I mean for other
others,
people to understand. You know, infrastructure, to provide infrastructure for this country, because all the, you know, the people we talk about, from Weeknd, Tory, Drake, Bieber, whoever you want to name, right? The infrastructure hasn't changed much within this country.
Right.
We still do not have a star system, and in fact, it's becoming more and more difficult. You understand what I'm saying? For there to be stars when it comes to black music. So, me on the executive side, being able to help create and sustain an infrastructure so that people can come, and I actually change their lives and help figure out how to build that foundation, so that years from now, when I'm done and I'm just on a beach somewhere, so that it can still move. That is also what I'm working on. And then, you know, besides that, just on a level, it's becoming more difficult, but I can never leave the music thing. I always say, as long as you're not trash, like, you should always work on your craft. And I mean, my next project is going to be called Pick Your Poison.
Okay.
And on that we have there's a lot of people that did music with, to be honest, and it's just a vibe. It's a thing to where it's like I said, I went to Atlanta, me and T-Pain did a thing. I was in Jamaica, I said, yo, Sharon, I need Conscience on this tune. Cha-Ching is on this one, Rock City's over here, Akon did a thing, Blackway is over here. Big up to my brethren, Agent Sasko, Assassins. I think the next single is gonna be me and a joint we have called Lion with me and Sasko.
Okay.
Just so many people, Ricky Blaze, Pitbull, like whatever, like, what I'm saying? There's just a bag of different music, but I think it's just the vibes and the energy. Like when I say pick your poison, sometimes it's like, it's like when you go to the bar and you look at the bar and you say, well, today I feel like I want to drink Crown. Or you might go to the bar tomorrow and you're like, you know what? It's a Ray and Nephew kind of day still. That's how the album is, you know what I'm saying? Like if you want something that's going to kick off your face, there's a tune for that. If you want to deal with some futuristic Afro beats thing, there's a tune for that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, it's really a vibe, you know what I mean? And it's fun. Yeah. It's fun. Because at the end of the day, the funny thing is, I thought that I would have cycled out. I thought there would have been a new Kardinal vibe, like somebody that would have came along and, you know what I'm saying, like took up the same energy. Nobody didn't take it up yet. So, you know what I mean? Like, so when I travel the world, people are still like, yo, we need them vibes. Yeah. We need those vibes that only you have given us.
Bashman vibes.
So
with bars.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's what it is, fam. And I'm just listen, like I said, shout out to each and every person, because I'm a person that I'll tell you honestly, like, you know what it is. It's a real thing to say you are who you surround yourself with. And if you ever find that you haven't ever evolved or elevated in life, it's because you haven't evolved or elevated your circle. And it's not to say that you abandon people, but it's to say that the mentality and the only way that, like, your programming is a real thing. You know what I'm saying? If I play the same shit song every day, you guys are going to like it eventually.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean? If we are programmed to eat the same food because of access, we're just going to take the best of the bullshit that we have.
Yeah.
But it's the same with our friends.
Facts.
If our friends don't understand to say, yo, family, I might not see you for 2 months because I got to be out. I'm trying to elevate my career. I'm trying to focus on this and elevate. Your real friends are the ones that are going to either lift you up or help you get access to what it is that you need. But guess what? Sometimes it might be a new person. And you might have the man's them that you know for 20 years, but you meet that person that's over here that shows you a whole new thing that you never saw before. And all of a sudden, you say, boy, you just showed me a new way. And then all of a sudden, your brethren then say, boy, I see you drive a new vehicle or new things are going on. How did that happen? You say, boy, you know, a man showed me. And then you show your brethren them, and all of a sudden their mentality changes. And that's the real thing.
So true.
You know, you gotta be very mindful of the circles that you move in, and really that's how you elevate the thing. Yeah, man.
Kardinal Offishall.
We gotta do a part 2, because the funny thing is, I'm thinking we didn't even do no specifics really.
Oh no. I just way more questions that we can get into.
Yeah, we'll do a part 2. You know, it'll be ill, and I'll put it out there. I'll put it out there for y'all too, because lots of the mans that watch the show, and like, you know, it's one of the ones, like, it's easy to do, you know, one of the American joints or whatever, but even the perspective is different. They're looking at us different. Even when I sit down with my friends with Syph and them, they only understand things like, you know what I mean? Like the lens that they look at Canadians, it's different.
Right.
Doesn't matter how big we get. It's always different. Yeah. But like, there's such a story from certain people that shaped pre 07, 08, like when Twitter, Instagram, and social media really popped off. There's an era of things that happened that are so vital and so important. You understand what I'm saying? Socrates was signed to Warner Brothers in 1995.
Yeah.
Like when we were youths.
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying? This man had an opportunity to have his tune be the main tune for fucking Batman.
Yeah.
You understand? When Mr. Freeze was in there,
Yeah. Like the part
there's so many things that happened that even made it possible for me.
Yeah.
That made it possible for a next man. And it's like being able to connect all those dots is really the only way we're ever gonna understand this thing.
Facts.
You know, so
Facts.
trust me, we'll come back, we'll forward back loose talk, and we'll, you know, deal with some real specific anecdotes.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay, so what we can do now, social medias.
Yep.
Right? Because like it still boggles my mind because I'm like, nobody needs Cardinal's fucking Instagram and shit
Of
like
course.
that. But there might be people who don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah, so this camera right here, let people know your Instagram and all that good shit. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Yo, you already know Mr. Kardinal, aka Celebrity Face, and just follow at Kardinal O. That's easy. Just add an O to the end. You know what I mean? You know how it goes. That's it. At Kardinal O. Follow. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna post all the fuckery, but when you follow me, you'll feel better for it.
Yeah.
A little sneak peek.
Yeah. Enough respecting.
Nah, man, respect.
You know what I'm saying? Yes.
Thank you,
Kardinal
sir.
Offishall.